So we're a day on from the UK general election, and the Conservative Party won with Boris Johnson as Prime Minister, sweeping up 365 seats, which is 43.6% of the votes. What does this mean for traders? Well, I'm going to go through this in this video, so let's get straight into it. Hi guys, it's Andy aka The Knock Trader, your friendly neighborhood swing trader, back again with another video. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that alert button to get alerts on all my latest videos. I've got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Knock Trader on all social media platforms. And if you check that description section below, you'll see a link to my mailing list and my Discord chat room called Pip Talk. Join both in the description section below. So there was a wealth of opportunities last night to make some real money yesterday. I didn't really trade because I was a bit cautious about trying to trade into the general election, but I was pretty confident that the Conservative Party was going to win, just based off of what was going on in this country with Brexit and yes, primarily Brexit. I felt like this election wasn't necessarily an election about party politics, but more so about whether you're in. It was like a second referendum for Brexit. If you wanted to remain, then you'd probably vote for Labour. If you wanted to go, you'd probably vote for Conservative. So it wasn't so much about party politics as it was about trying to get a Brexit deal done or maybe not done. And it seems that the public has spoken and the Conservative Party have won. I think it's because they had a stronger stance on Brexit as opposed to Labour, who didn't really have a stance on Brexit, and only towards later in the race that they actually said that they wanted to remain in the EU. But we're not talking about politics, we're talking about trading. So history tells us that when the Conservative Party wins, the market normally rallies. So the GB pound goes up, and the UK stocks go up, primarily because the consensus is that the Conservative Party normally create policies that favor corporations. So if the Conservative Party are in power, then corporations benefit, and if corporations think they're going to benefit, then the speculation is that the share prices will go up, and that's exactly what happened. So the first chart I'm going to look at is the UK FTSE 100. Now, if you go into that, I'm going to go into the 15-minute chart. So the time frame to look at right now is probably, what was it? This is what you need to look at. This is the area of interest. Let me delete that. This is the area of interest. So it was at 10 o'clock last night. 10 o'clock last night, which was here, is when the exit polls were announced, and when it seemed like when it wasn't confirmed, but it seemed that the Conservative Party was going to get a majority. And when this was confirmed, well, not confirmed, but when this was announced, the UK share prices skyrocketed up. So you would have seen 84 points in 1 hour, in the space of less than an hour. So you're talking 1% move, which is good. And then obviously, what I said about news, whenever it comes up so far, normally it retraces back down, but this was news that was going to be actually something that would affect the markets in the long term. So it wasn't just speculative news. When we found out that when this spiked up, it came back down, but then the next day the GB pound started rallying. Not GB pound, sorry, the FTSE started rallying up again. So this was expected. For anyone who thought Conservative was going to win, that would have been the play to make. I actually thought they were going to win, but I just didn't want to make this play because I'm trying to stay away from like trading news, because it's a very dangerous game to play. Yeah, it went as expected. Same with the GB pound. So I'm going to go GB pound USD. The same thing happened with the pound. The minute that there was a confirmation, the pound rallied up. And I think there's always a bigger effect in Forex, because Forex market than in the equities market when it comes to stuff like elections. So as you can see, let me go into the 10-minute chart. 10-minute chart, yeah, once again, 10 o'clock. When it's 10 o'clock, let me get rid of this. When it was 10 o'clock, that was when it rallied. Obviously, there was more of a pronounced gains in the GB pound. You saw, 2.7% rise within that hour, within that 10 o'clock time when the exit polls were announced. So as you can see here, once again, the pound is rallying because the perception of the Conservative Party being more beneficial for corporations means that the pound would rally up. And At the open of the markets this morning, the UK markets, most of the UK stocks on my watch list, and a lot of UK stocks were just seeing great gains. Like, it's ridiculous, really, if you look at it. So if you had a long position in some of these UK stocks, you would have probably benefited a lot from the short-term gains that were made over today. So like Boohoo went up 5%. What are the UK stocks? ITV went up 15%. It retraced most of the rest of the day, but still, you would have seen a 15% gain overnight if you take a position at ITV. Legal & General up 12%. Ridiculous. A lot of these saw retracements back, so potentially a more safer way to trade if you didn't want to take an overnight trade would have been to short into the open, because it had made a spike up. It would probably retrace back down. Some people closing out positions, so you could have that's more of a safer way of trading. That's something I would have liked to have done. I didn't do this here, but that's the way I like to trade. If I'm going to trade the aftermath of earnings or news, I like to trade not necessarily the breakout, which is more lucrative, but it's also more dangerous, riskier trade. I normally like to trade the aftermath when it starts pulling back after a big gain. So if there's an earnings report, or for example an election, if it breaks out one way, normally it's overextended, and then you'll see a pullback, and that's where I'll probably take my position, where it starts pulling back, and then I can make a little bit of profit. So even though I wouldn't have made this, not trade, I didn't take any positions here, but even though wouldn't have made that 7%, I could have potentially made 3%. So maybe half of what it could have made on the up, I could have made on the way down by just shorting after the initial breakout. Yeah, so once again, just a lot of UK stocks were saw a lot of benefit from the Conservative Party winning, and that was something that some people might have capitalized on. I didn't personally, but this is just it's something to just take note of, that next elections, whether that is in 5 years' time, if Conservatives look like they're going to win, and a lot of the times that is a good sign for the equities market, and you can probably capitalize on that if you think they're going to win. So that was just a short video I thought I'd make on the aftermath of the UK elections. Remember to check out my ebook. I mentioned it once before, I'll mention it again. I've got an ebook. If you don't know what trading platform to use, I've got a couple videos about all the different trading platforms I reviewed. But if you don't know which one to choose and you're still thinking about it, check out my ebook, download it, it's for free, and I'll give you a breakdown of some of the three main trading platforms I like and what to look for in a good trading platform. It's Any, aka The Not Trader, signing out.